You stupid fool. Did you really think you gonna hit me? Huh? Bow, bow, bam! Over.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Devin Haney, the most avoided fighter in the entire sport today, is desperately trying to get one of these guys that keep talking in the ring. Guys, Devin, he just may go down in history as a champion to have the most mandatories turn down a shot at a title. First, Ryan Garcia, he turned down a title shot, gave up his mandatory spot, basically handed it over to Jojo Diaz like a hot potato. Jojo fights in the title eliminator for the #1 spot to fight for Devin Haney's belt. And now he's talking about fighting Ryan Garcia. Now the two mandatories that turned down a title shot want to fight against each other? I mean, what is really going on in the sport of boxing today, guys? This is like the craziest stuff I've ever seen. Now, before we get into Rolly, I will say credit to Ryan Garcia at least for being honest and admitting that he felt that Devin Haney was the most difficult fight out of the four, which is Gervonta Tank Davis, of course, Teofimo, and himself. He said that Devin would be the most difficult. And even though it's very obvious that Jojo Diaz feels that Ryan Garcia is a much easier fight than a Devin Haney fight, of course, he's not going to admit that. However, he did give a full breakdown of how he would beat Ryan Garcia. He talked about how Ryan Garcia would be trying to clinch him and he's going to be killing him with body shots and then he's going to stop him, right? But it's amazing that once again, even though he was the mandatory, or he is the mandatory for Devin Haney's belt, he never talked about how he would beat Devin. He only talked about how he would beat Ryan Garcia because he truly feels that is a much easier fight. So unfortunately, the way Jojo Diaz has been talking recently, it sounds like he's trying to find a way out, at least out of a Devin Haney fight. And he's trying desperately to get a Ryan Garcia fight. So now the backup plan for Devin Haney is to get the Rolly Romero fight, which makes all the sense in the world. Because Rolly, he's with TMT, he's with Floyd Mayweather, he talks a whole lot of mess, and he has real knockout power. In fact, he had a good reputation of knocking a lot of cats out and stopping a lot of kids in sparring at the Mayweather gym. So since Rolly had pretty much been on his Gary Russell Jr. where he was calling everyone out, of course, Devin Haney, he took the bait and he started to push for this fight. And you guys should know by now, when the Haneys, when they're interested in the fight, they start the negotiations right away. But first, let me go ahead and play this clip so you could see what really got Devin Haney interested in taking this fight against Rolly. Check out what Rolly said. Now understand this, guys. Devin Haney actually sent Floyd Mayweather a text, asked him if he could get the Rolly fight, and Floyd said, yeah, no problem, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and play a clip of what Rolly said before Devin Haney reached out to Floyd Mayweather. And then I'm gonna play some clips of what he said afterwards. Check this out.
Fake ass, Mexico ass, fucking email ass champion. Daddy bought his fucking career. Daddy bought him a fucking win in Mexico that they raised the other motherfucker's hand. So y'all can all go fuck yourself. Haney is the biggest bitch, not just at 135, in boxing. So don't give me that shit. Devin Haney is the biggest bitch in boxing. If I'm so easy, fight me and fucking whoop my fucking ass. But no, because he knows he's a chinny, frail ass little bitch.
You know, guys, people should know by now, if you call out Devin Haney, you better be ready to fight. Because Devin, he don't turn down no challenge. He doesn't turn down a challenge. Especially when almost every single fighter with a name is avoiding him. I mean, this man can't even get his #1 contenders in the ring with him, right? So Bill Haney, he went on the Boxing Voice. He shared the information of Devin Haney texting Floyd and what Floyd said. And then he ended up calling his lawyer live on air. He calls his lawyer and orders him to contact Leonard Ellerbe so they can start to negotiate this fight. Like I told you, man, when it comes to the Haneys, you ain't got to ask them twice. All you got to do is mention their name once, and it's going down before you could even blink. So with that being said, let me go ahead and play this clip of Bill initiating negotiations. Check this clip out.
Devin text Floyd about it. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. Devin texts Floyd Mayweather Jr. about the Rolly fight.
Yeah, said he
this
wanted
getting
it.
good. This getting good.
And Floyd said yes.
Calling. Oh, he's calling.
Oh, he's
Ellerbe.
calling the man.
This is amazing.
Oh my God.
Can I? Thank you, baby Jesus.
Hey, sir, how are you?
Hey, John.
Yes, sir.
How are you? Listen,
Jesus,
I got us live. So you're on the speakerphone. We're on the Boxing Voice podcast. And listen, do you mind calling Leonard Ellerbe about a fight with Rolly Romero? Give him a call. Devin has talked to Floyd via text, and he confirmed that Rolly might be available. And of course, you know we're available to do something with him. Can you just give him a talk and let's see if we can pursue it with Ellerbe?
I think the reach out would be to Leonard, but also Al Haney is his manager. So I think that there's two people that need to be talked to, and then primarily Al, because I think that that's where the rubber hits the road.
Okay. Okay. So
obviously, they always say that they have their own agendas and ways to go and roadmap for their guide. But if it's a proposition that's out there and makes sense, I'm sure they'd be willing to take a look at it.
Okay. Well, good. Can you reach out to both, Leonard Ellerbe and what's the name, and then just, as a follow up from Floyd and Devin texting back and forth about it, and Floyd said yes.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, my brother.
All right, guys. So you heard in the first clip, Rolly, he was talking extremely reckless. He was talking on some street fight, thug type stuff, right? But the most important thing is he said, make the fight, Devin, as if he said he wanted the fight. Now, even after his last fight at the post-fight press conference, he said he wanted Tank Davis. They said, if you can't get Tank, who do you want next? Once again, he said he wants Devin Haney. Remember, this is all before this phone call took place with Bill Haney and his lawyer about trying to make the fight, right? But more recently, Rolly, he does an interview where he responds to Devin Haney contacting Floyd Mayweather. The first thing he says is, it's a lie, they're a bunch of liars, don't believe nothing that they say, etc., etc., etc. Instead of him saying, well, this is great news because that's the fight that I want. I hope we can make that fight. Instead of saying things like that, he completely writes it off, and then he finishes it off by saying, don't even mention Devin Haney's name. Don't mention his name anymore. Why would you be saying don't mention his name at the time when they're trying to make a fight with you? It's crazy because, when you look at Rolly, he always has this squeezed up face. It's almost like he's foaming at the mouth in a cage. But the cage is unlocked. And so far, he hasn't come out the cage yet. The question is, when is Rolly going to come out of that cage? I mean, while Rolly was on Instagram doing all that talking and calling Devin Haney and Bill out of their names, how come he didn't reach out to Al Heyman, to Floyd Mayweather, and tell them I want this fight. Why is it always Devin Haney that's doing all the road work? It seems like it's always the same story when it comes to potential opponents for Devin Haney. Jojo Diaz, he has a shot at a world title, but he'd rather fight Ryan Garcia because it's an easier fight. But the question is, if you can't get Ryan Garcia, how do you justify not fighting the champion that you're the #1 contender for? And then here we are with Rolly. Rolly wants the Tank Davis fight. And if he were to get the Tank Davis fight, there's no doubt about it, we can't complain about that. That would be a huge fight. But just like with Jojo Diaz, if Rolly can't get the Tank Davis fight, how does he justify not taking the Devin Haney fight for a world title? In fact, in his post-fight press conference, Rolly, he actually said that's why he wants to fight Devin. He said if he can't get the Tank fight, he wants Devin Haney. He wants his belt. This is what he said. So you have that opportunity. So once again, if there is no Tank Davis fight, there would be no reason for Rolly to fight anyone else, especially if it's some C or D level opponent. It's time for Rolly to come out that cage, man. Hopefully we'll see it soon. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodkey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. Contact them at 704-499-3471 and make sure you follow them on Instagram.